All right. Welcome. Another trip on Tesla FSD 12.6.1. Going through a back road here. This is a back road that we've had a little bit of difficulties on in the past. I've tested this out on this latest build before and it was a little difficult. So I'm going to see this time how it reacts with a little bit more traffic on the road. In theory, the issues that we did experience, which is speeding coming up to a tight corner, and I reported that in one of the previous videos. In this scenario, it really shouldn't be an issue, just again because we have traffic here. So I would see it adhering to the flow of traffic, 2-lane highway. So again, just want to test that out and see if that's the case. We take this first left. Always great. And we have this extremely large truck in front of us, very loud. So I don't expect to have any issues there. But this is for the folks that have windy roads in their area, and seeing how FSD handles those windy roads. We have a few out here. The main difference with this road, in addition to being windy, there is some construction in the area as well. So just paying attention to our speed here relative to the speed limit, making sure we're staying within our lane. So far, so good there. Avoided that pothole, very large pothole. And then in front of this large truck, we have a cement truck. So right around this area is where we got a little aggressive with the speed. I had to disengage. That's not going to be the case this go around again due to the vehicles in front of us. So while that is a bit reassuring, also would like for it to, work as intended when there's no traffic. Right now we're doing a great job staying within the lines, respecting the vehicles to the left of us. I posted a video as well on the same road where I was having issues with reflectors on the ground and FSD not really respecting that. I think that's good to know, again, when there are other vehicles, especially in front of you. Even if FSD is having a hard time looking for the lane because of the reflectors, some roads use reflectors rather than a painted lane for whatever reason, that it'll still keep in mind the flow and direction of the vehicle in front of you and kind of follow suit rather than, again, doing what it wants. So we're coming up here. It looks like this truck may be turning, cement truck. Or no, actually it looks like we are hitting traffic. This is hard. Like, typically you don't get vehicles this large. You could be behind an 18-wheeler, things like that. It's a little bit close for me. but still doing a good job at maintaining enough distance. So we're approaching a four-way intersection. Like I mentioned, just a little bit of traffic. It's almost 4 o'clock, so makes sense. I guess a little bit more than typical around this time. There's construction going on all throughout North Texas. So this is typically a way that we would take, especially for those that are in the area, Highway 380. There's too much construction or, any delays. This is essentially the back route that you can take to avoid that. I'll be sure to fast forward through all this. None of this is exciting. So our we're turning with the with the flow of traffic, so that's still staying within our lane. All right, so approaching our stop, come to a full stop. Okay, well, somebody paused a bit, but regardless, we are off. Okay. Got our wild stock out, cows, calves, everybody else, and we are back at speed. 55, we're doing 56. Not bad at all. Overcast day, so no issues with sun glare or anything like that. It'll be raining over the next couple of days, so that's not exciting. I usually don't. I usually don't film while it's raining. Depends on how severe the rain is. Out here in Texas, uh, rainstorms or thunderstorms, everything's unique here. It's a little bit more than what you're used to. So we'll see how it acts over the next couple of days. So again, a little mini windy road, coming with it at some speed. Was definitely prepared to take over earlier there, but we made the turn. Those are always areas, especially if you're utilizing FSD, to not be afraid to take over. I've been utilizing FSD for a while now, for a few years, and taking over doesn't get old. You're just supervising. So again, something doesn't feel right, you don't feel comfortable. I don't care if you're out here and you see me take a trip or take a route and you take it and it's like, yeah, go ahead and take over, No shame. Okay, so we are still adhering to the road. This truck again, very large. So struggling to stay within the lane. Coming up to a light as well as a school zone. So far, so good. No complaints. I'm going to be speeding up a little bit. Excuse me, slowing up a little bit because of the school zone. Not a good representation of if FSD is respecting the school zone because we are behind folks, so we have to maintain that speed limit. But from what I've seen thus far, I would say about 80+% of the time, I've noticed on the past couple builds that FSD has slowed down for school zone markers and warning lights, indicators, things of that nature, which for me, it definitely wasn't slowing down in the past. So that was something good. Now we'll see if we make this, and this is a tight turn, and we did. As you can see, that truck was kind of off the side, so small and nimble enough to make that work. Didn't want to have to go off road. Okay, so we'll have some navigation through what looks like a neighborhood. Again, a lot of 2-lane areas, so one of those things where we'll play it by ear. Yeah. Usually this is a quicker trip. It's just the timing that I'm leaving makes it a little bit longer, on top of taking the back roads. You're gonna take a little bit more time, but this will be a new route for myself. So we'll get a first look at how FSD handles out here in Aubrey, Texas. Okay, so we're going over a railroad crossing. This has always been hit or miss for me. Again, FSD has a saving grace by having these two large vehicles in front of us, so we have to respect that speed. It went over it as intended. The vehicles weren't here. I would love to see if it would attempt to slow down. Like I said, it's about 50%. I've noticed that either it will slow down or it won't. And then I disengage to slow down and re-engage after we cross. So something to look out for if you have railroad tracks, things of that nature in your area. Got an Escalade V. For those that don't know, we do still have ICE vehicles. How courteous we are here. We do have ICE vehicles. You know, I think eventually we may go full electric. Nice left turn in the future. Probably not though. I still enjoy ICE vehicles. I still enjoy We have a full-size SUV, so that really meets our needs for the day-to-day stuff, especially if we're all traveling together. That's one of the things I'm kind of curious to see who's gonna kind of pop out. Obviously, Escalade has their Escalade IQ as far as a full-size electric SUV. We checked out the Rivian. We were gonna get the Rivian. We may still get a Rivian for my wife later on down the line. She enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Obviously, there's some areas and some aspects that Tesla excels in, but just the same, there are some areas that Rivian does a great job at, especially when it comes to the off-road aspect and height clearance, riding high overall. My wife loves being a taller vehicle, so we'll see. But for the time being, I think the Model X here fits all of our needs. I think later on, I may, I don't know. You have to keep up with the technology. I think that's the main call out. So eventually I'll look at a hardware 4 vehicle and then what are they going to do? Hardware 5 vehicle is going to come out and we're going to be consistently below the standard there, but I will still do these videos. So for the rest of us that can't upgrade every year or whenever Tesla drops, I'll be here to support for sure. A lot of land in these back roads, a lot of farmland, a lot of compounds out here. So we're in a part of Texas that if you're to ever come out here for a first time or whatever, like this is what you would think Texas is. You look at the land that folks have and things of that nature. It's definite various sides of Texas for sure. But this trip alone, I think this is a great example of, especially when it comes to road tripping, things of that nature, where FSD is just hands down the best option that you can have. So I thought we were going to look out and get ahead or away from these large vehicles. I was mistaken, but that's okay. Still get an opportunity to break away here eventually. All right, coming to the Denton city limit. We'll start to see some more civilization here. Making this elongated turn. Again, we're doing great at staying obviously within the line, but also staying pretty well centered. I've heard in the latest builds that have been released for early access individuals that there's been some improvement to lane centering, general bug fixes, but certainly things that folks have been reporting. They've been releasing updates at a consistent basis, so that's always what you want. It's great to see and hear. Still doing good. There's some breakage in the road when it comes to the lane and marker and indicators on the road. So it's always reassuring that it's FSD is doing its best to simulate a lane even when it's not there. Had to slow down a bit for a flat tire. Not a great place to have a flat tire. Definitely a relaxing ride. That's for sure. All right, coming around this loop, which is literally what you all think it is. It's called the loop. So we'll be approaching that here shortly. Almost similar to like a mini highway of sorts. Some new construction going on back here. We'll be clapping and applauding for joy as soon as we see an additional lane here. For those folks that are in rural areas or, have similar streets, all the patience. Okay. So coming up to light, we got a little overpass here. We'll go under and then get onto this loop. Putting the turn signal on ahead of time, not a problem. Making this left, course correct a bit, not a problem. And we are off. No more cement truck, no more monster truck. Going toward our destination. We're putting on that left turn signal as we merge here on the highway. Speed limit is 63 or 60. We're doing 64. Because my profile is set for hurry mode, we're going to get in that faster lane. And then just like that, we're going to be approaching a turn stoplight. So yeah, it's a fairly short stretch of road for those that aren't familiar with the area. That's reminiscent, or mimics almost like a highway. So you do get to go a little bit quicker. Coming across this light, I will say with confidence, I have not experienced in several builds any type of phantom braking, whether it's green to yellow, complete green lights, yellow to red, in several builds. And so some of the comments that I see online, things of that nature, if you are new to FSD, I would encourage you just to get out there and try it for yourself. What I'm learning more and more as the time goes on is every vehicle can be different. You can take the same routes that I take and may have a different experience. So I definitely wouldn't take we'll call it the negative, but I won't take someone's experience in their ride and automatically assume that you'll have the same experience, especially if it was more on the negative / improvement side. You may be surprised. And so, again, for me, a lot of the things that are being reported in regards to FSD, they haven't happened to me. So I'm thankful for that. I'll still report what happens to me regardless of it's positive or negative. I think it's only right to talk about both. There's always opportunities for improvement, especially if it's significant to where the Tesla AI team and the developers can apply a fix before FSD really blows up. Uh, so approaching a light that just turned green. I want to slow it back a bit. That looks good. right, so looking good on this stretch. It's a great drive. Traffic aside, it would have probably been like 30 minutes more so than the 40, but no major issues whatsoever. It's almost boring, which boring is good. That's what you want. So, like I said, no interventions. I didn't have to tap on the accelerator at all. There wasn't any stagnant moments where FSD hesitated in any way.